But then, oh loss, Narad is now saying, Aho Bat Mahat Papam. What we have got in Rasa Savitri to begin with, Aho Bat Mahat Papam. Oh, what a calamitous thing. Now that has come here. Oh loss, Aho Bat Mahat Papam. If death into its elements of which his gracious envelope was built, shatter this vase before it breathes its sweets. Before that vase could breathe sweets, it will get shattered by death. If death, he says if death, it means yes, it is going to be so. It is not if, it is going to be so. If death into its elements, into its true nature, of which his gracious envelope was built, Satyavan's soul, Satyavan's body, Satyavan's being was built with very special qualities, with special elements, and those special elements are going to get knocked by death. O loss, if death into its elements, of which his gracious envelope was built, shatter this mass before it breathes its will, as if earth could not keep too long from heaven a treasure thus unique, loaned by the gods. He was loaned by the god of the earth, but the earth is not in a position to keep it too long. A being so rare or so divine in make, divine in make. Already the whole divinity is present in him. The avataric nature of Satyavan is what you see here. Mother has said, no, he is the permanent avatar. Satyavan is the permanent avatar. A being so rare. Now, oh loss if death into its elements of which his gracious envelope was built. We have already seen that thing. Rare is the cup, fit for a nectar's wine. No? Where is that thing gone? Yeah.
But when he says here, can I just say something? When he says here, unique, loaned by the gods, could not keep too long from heaven. Savitri also has these qualities.
Yeah, but he is now describing at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. But he says the qualities that could not be kept too long from heaven.
Yeah.
It would apply to Savitri as well.
But I think still the qualities of Savitri, the divine qualities of Savitri, are of a different kind than the divine qualities of Satyavan.
Yeah, that would make a difference.
There is a difference between the two. See, there is a difference between the two. See, there has to be. Otherwise, where is the question of union? See, they have to be also. Now, this one we have already seen. No, let us see again quickly. 102.57. Rare is a cup fit for love's nectar wine. This is what Savitri has seen in him. Rare is the cup fit for nectar's wine. And how is this cup prepared? A soul made ready through 1,000 years. It takes 1,000 years to prepare such a cup. Is a living mold of a supreme descent. So, of which his gracious envelope was built, shatter this vase, that cup, before it breathes its sweets. As if earth could not keep too long from heaven a treasure thus unique, loaned by the gods. A being so rare, again he says, so being so rare, rare is the cup, a being so rare.
It's prepared 1,000 years and then it can live only 1 year.
Pardon?
1,000 years preparation for only 1 year.
Yeah. It takes 1,000 years.
Less.
Yeah. A being so rare or so divine a make. And then Narad comes to his business. In one brief year, when this bright hour flies back, yes, today I am saying something, when this hour comes back, 1 year from today, and perches careless on a branch of time, perches careless on a branch of time. This hour will come back like a bird and will perch on a branch of time. Branch of time where the death is to take place. Satyavan dies under the tree, and above the tree on the branch is time waiting for that to happen. Perches on a branch of time. The sovereign glory ends, heaven lent to earth. The splendor vanishes from the mortal sky. That is the moment of the death. It will occur under the branch of a tree, banyan tree, the kingly tree. Satyavan death occurs under the kingly tree, banyan tree, branch of time. The splendor vanishes from the mortal sky. Heaven's greatness came, but was too great to stay. That is the sad story of this mortal world. That is the sad part of our life. You see, heaven's greatness came, but was too great to stay. Well, that happened to all the avatars. Christ died. Heaven's greatness came. He had to suffer. He has to go back, but was too great to stay. And then he comes to the business. 12 swift-winged months are given to him and her. 12 swift-winged months are given to him and her. This day returning, Satyavan must die. That is the word Narad is delivering. He hastened all the way from his home in paradise to Madra to deliver this word. Yes, Satyavan must die. He has to die. Now again, as I told you, in fact, that is the last line of the first canto. This was the day when Satyavan must die. Satyavan must die. As if in the whole epic, it keeps on ringing like a toll. Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die. Throughout all the pages, you kind of hear that sound of the gong. Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die. Satyavan must die. It is not that Satyavan will die. It is not Satyavan will die. Satyavan will die, well, that has no meaning. Everybody dies. But he must die. In other words, there is a definite purpose behind his death. There is a definite purpose behind it. He must die. See, when Shivandu used to have sessions with his attendants after the accident, half a dozen attendants used to sit around him for a while and kind of chit-chat or gossip or whatever you want to call it, on every kind of a thing. So on one occasion, Purani asked him about Satyavan's death, A.B. Purani. And then Shivandu said, but Satyavan has to die. In the context of the Savitri tale, he tells him, but Satyavan has to die. That is what he said. Here he says Satyavan must die. Has to die, must die. See, the same thing. It is not will die. That is important. Must carries all the power in it of the future. The cosmic spring, the destiny is set free, and for that destiny to be set free, he must die. He must die. If the springs have to move on, if the fate has to move on forward, you see. 12 swift-winged months are given to him and her. This day returning, Satyavan must die. Let us see. Now, this is a very poetic line. In fact, that line, this was the day when Satyavan must die. The last line of the first canto. This was the day when Satyavan must die. Shivandu gives that thing as an example of the barest kind of poetry, without any decoration, poetic decoration in it. This was the day when Satyavan must die. Absolutely plain, simple language. No simile, no metaphor, no color, nothing. And when somebody asked him, would you like to change that line? It looks too bare. And he said, even if you give me the crown of a laureate, I am not going to change that line. I am not going to change that line, you see. It has to be that way. The power of the bareness has to come out fully, you see. Here also is something, same thing.
Then Homer would have approved of that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Severe.
yeah. Kavi Samrat, he said, even if you give me the crown, the title of a Kavi Samrat, the crown of a laureate, no, 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 I don't want. This line has to be like that, you see. This was the day even Satyavan must die. This day is returning, Satyavan must. Now, there are a, well, you can see that bareness of line. In the days prior to this type of poetry, maybe about 150 years ago, one Bengali poet, he had translated the whole of Mahabharata into English poetry. Very beautiful, very powerful also. And of course, he has translated the Savitri tale also into Bengali. Now you see how he describes in his narrative about the death of Satyavan. I will read that couplet. You see, Ramesh Chandra Dutt. Ramesh Chandra Dutt. He says, fatal fault. Narad is saying, fatal fault or destined sorrow. For it is decreed on high, on this day, a 12-month later, this fated prince will die. This fated prince will die. Fatal fault. There is something very calamitous. There is a cleavage in his life somewhere. Destined sorrow. For it is decreed on high, on this day, a 12-month later, this fated prince will die. Now you see the difference in the quality of poetry. See the difference. Now this is a different meter also. It is a different. It is a rhymed couplet. What is called the heroic couplet. In fact, not this couplet. It is a Locksley Hall meter basically, which is very popular in some means of 15 syllables. Each line is of 15 syllables, and he has really done a very beautiful job in that meter. But later on, when Ramesh Chandra Dutt came to see some of Shevandu's poetry, not too late, but very early poetry of Shevandu, he said that had I known this poetry, I would not have written this stuff. I would not have written this stuff, you see. See? That is a great compliment in itself. Yeah, I have not written this stuff. Now, there are a couple of points here. In one brief year, when this bright hour flies back, he says, now, one brief year means a very short time they'll be together. 1 year only, short. One cycle of time. All the seasons had to roll out, so to say. 1 year means that. All the seasons, 6 seasons, had to roll out for this thing to happen. When this bright hour, this is the important thing. Narad is making the prophecy in the bright hour. And this bright hour is going to return. So, although it is the death of Satyavan, it is embedded in the bright hour. It is embedded in the bright hour, see. Flies back. It has to come back, this bright hour, see. And perches careless on a branch of time that we have seen. This sovereign glory, yeah, this great glory which has come here, heaven, land, this splendor vanishes from the mortal sky, it has to go away in this bright hour. Heaven's greatness came, but was too great, etc. Now this bright hour is important. When this bright hour, now in that sense, Narad has already fixed the time of the death of Satyavan. Fixed the time of death of Satyavan.
Not fixed it or he
Yeah.
creates it.
When this bright hour comes back, it has to happen.
He sees it.
This has to happen. I am speaking now, so it is from that moment onward, the moment of the utterance of the prophecy. It is from that moment onward, he is given 12 months, 1 year. And purchase, then he says 12 swift-winged months. He is more precise here. Instead of a year, here it was a year, brief year. Now he has come down to more specific thing, 12 months. Now there is a difference between 1 year and 12 months. There is a difference or not? Huh? No? No? There is no difference. Yes, it is. There is a difference between, see, it's like saying 1 year and 12 months, there is a difference between the two. It's like saying, I will come in 5 minutes and I will come in 300 seconds. There is a difference of that. There is a difference between the two. I will come in 5 minutes, it means that 5 minutes plus or minus half a minute. Roughly, you see. When I say 300 seconds, it means that 300 seconds plus or minus half a second. So, saying 300 seconds is more precise than saying 5 minutes. It is more precise. So, that precision has come now here. What we are here, a brief year, is a more general statement. I will come in 5 minutes. I will come in 300 seconds. It has become more specific in that case. 12 swift-winged months are given to him and her. This is important. Given to him and her. When they have united together, from that moment onward, this will happen in 12 months. In 12 months. This day returning. Now you see, from months has come back to day. Again, more precise. First you had the year, then you had the month, now he comes to the day. He is making more and more precise that way. This day returning, today I have come here, exactly on this day, 1 year after that, this is going to happen. So in other words, this is a great clue for Savitri. Savitri has to count her companionship with Satyavan from that moment onward. If she has to prepare and meet eventuality, she has to count each and every day from that moment onward. 365 days or what you want to call it. And she has to be ready for that thing, you see. Now, we have a more specific description in Vyasa Savitri. When on the fated day, Satyavan and Savitri go to the forest together. And Savitri has already counted the day on which this is going to happen. She is now waiting for a particular moment also. And Vyasa says, Muhurtam, Kshanam, Velam, Divasam. From the moment, from the hour, from the time, from the day. Everything is specified. The day, the time, hour, Kshana, Muhurta, moment, when it is going to happen. She is counting every bit of time element. Now it is going to happen. Now it is going to happen. She sees Satyavan in great trouble. She takes him in her lap and she is counting the time and date and kshana, muhurta, that moment. Yes, yes, now it is going to happen. You will count it. And exactly at that moment, Yama, death, appears in front of her. Exact. At 12 noon. That is what we are saying. At 12 noon, he appears in front of her. And the death occurs at 12 noon on that fated day. So she is counting every bit of it, very consciously, very careful. She has prepared herself fully for that eventuality. At this moment, it must happen. And this has happened. So, when he says now, this day returning, Satyavan must die, he has already told her, look, Savitri, this is a time span in which you have to prepare yourself to meet the eventuality. And be ready to face death on this particular day, at this particular hour, at this particular moment. He has already told. I mean, there is that degree of specificity in his giving instructions to her. That is how it should happen. A lightning bright and new, the sentence fell. Obviously, who is going to accept this thing? You see, and Savitri's mother. But then cried the queen. Savitri's mother is in terrible language. She's going to accuse heaven. What kind of God is this?
So why doesn't Narad give Savitri, besides the time, also other instructions? Like, she has no idea what will happen. She only knows now, okay.
It's not necessary. It is indirectly given.
Indirectly.
Yeah. When he's communicating, when he's saying that, he's already putting his force in her soul. Oh yes, of course. To steal the will of Savitri.
To steal the will to face death.
Yes.
To overcome death. But nowhere you can...
She will get necessary guidance. She need not be told anything more explicitly than that. She will get at every moment what she has to do. That's the beauty of it. At every moment she will get necessary guidance. Do this, do this, do this. Her yoga proceeds like that. Her yoga proceeds like that, you see. At every moment, he has done his job. He has put his soul's force in her. And it will take care of it now. His job is done. Job is done. And to the degree of specificity. You see, that is the important thing. He says first year, then he says month, then he says day, and of course he says hour. This bright hour. He says everything is absolutely specified.
She knows how much time she has.
Yeah. In the occult sense, it is important. In the occult working, this knowledge is important. In the occult working, you see. See, there are many other aspects which he need not tell at this point. He need not tell it all, but they will unfold. This bright hour is a very crucial phrase, very powerful phrase.